Hola everyone and welcome to One Family, One Menu. Even though it's Monday, today we are making my delicious weekend oatmeal cookies and you are going to love them. So today we are making my weekend oatmeal cookies and they are delicious. But before we begin, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. So for my weekend oatmeal cookies, you are going to need the following. Half a cup of butter, softened, room temperature, 3 cups of rolled oats, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of either muscovado sugar or dark brown sugar. I prefer muscovado because it's more molassy and nicer, but dark brown works well. Half a cup of white granulated sugar, 1 cup of unsweetened cranberries or unsweetened cherries. Either one is fine. 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon, as well as vanilla extract. With these flavors, you can play around with how much you like, but I have some measurements in the website in case you need them. To start, we are going to put our butter, our softened butter inside a bowl. A larger bowl will be preferable because we're going to start adding things and it's better. And you're going to use a hand mixer. If you don't have a hand mixer, you can use a bigger mixer. That's fine. But this is perfectly fine. And we're going to whip our butter. We're going to start on the lowest setting. Now we are going to start to add our brown sugar or muscovado in my case. I love muscovado because it's so molassy and it gives such a great dimension to anything you're making with it, really. It's really, really tasty. If you haven't tried it, I recommend you do. All right, let's start mixing this as well on the lowest setting. Okay, now that our sugar and butter are compacted much better, you're gonna add your white granulated sugar. You can obviously use other sugars if you'd like coconut sugar or monk fruit. That works well as well. Consistency wise, it's going to be a little bit different. As you know, it depends on your ingredients for your cookie consistency. I love a chewy cookie. Those are my favorite types. I don't like hard cookies. And this is a perfect cookie for breakfast, for after dinner, for a quick snack. It's amazing and it's nice and filling because of the oatmeal. Let's mix in our white granulated sugar. Now that that is mixed in, we are going to add our eggs. As you know, we gotta make sure we break our eggs in a little bowl to ensure that they are good and fresh so we don't ruin our mixture, right? Because we don't want that. All right, so let's put the egg in here. So as you can see, we've hand mixed our butter, our sugars, both of them, and our 2 eggs. As you can see, there's ribbons formed. That's what you want to create when you're doing this, and then you can stop at this point, and then you can add your vanilla. I have measurements for the vanilla, the allspice, the cinnamon, and the nutmeg in my recipe, but this is up to you. A lot of people don't like allspice or don't like nutmeg. You don't have to add as much or at all and substitute for something else. Like cardamom if you want. That's a nice sweet spice. But I find that all these flavors complement this cookie so well, and it's every time you bite into it, it's like taking a bite of something really comfy and warm. That's why I love it. And it's perfect for this season. All right, let's mix in our vanilla. All right, now after the vanilla, we're gonna add our flour. Our flour, we're gonna mix it with the baking soda. I'm gonna put it in there. Perfect. And then I'm gonna take a whisk and just break all the lumps. As you know, this is the same thing as using a sifter, basically. I'm also going to add my spices into my flour now that I'm sifting, so we kill two birds with one stone. All right, now everything's mixed together and we're ready to add it into the mixture slowly. All right, we have added all of our flour and our spices and our baking soda. You can add a pinch of salt. I feel like it's really nice when you do to this recipe because salt enhances all the flavors. It's an enhancer. It's just like when you cook savory things, you're enhancing the flavors with the salt. I added a pinch of salt. If you don't want to add it or you can't have salt, then you can omit it. That's fine. Then we're going to add our rolled oats. And we're going to do that a little bit at a time as well, just like the all-purpose flour. Oops, brain dead. You're going to add a little bit at a time, about a cup at a time in threes, and you're going to start in your lowest setting. All right, we've added all our oats into our bowl. We've mixed everything together and it looks amazing and it smells even better. I, at this point, will be adding my unsweetened dried cranberries. You can also at this point add, if you're going to use cherries, add those. You can add nuts to this if you'd like, or instead of nuts, you can have the cranberries and little pieces of chocolate or chocolate chips. And chocolate and muscovado are like a match made in heaven. So now I'm going to put in my cranberries. All right, so we have mixed everything in already with our hand mixer. Now we took a spatula and I went around the edges just to make sure that everything is well incorporated. Just fold everything in that you see on the sides and that's it. We're ready to bake. And I forgot to tell you at the beginning, my bad. You are going to preheat your oven at 350 degrees and we're going to bake our cookies for less than 10 minutes. We want to make sure we keep an eye on these because they can get burned very quickly. You know this if you make cookies. All right, so our delicious cookies are ready for baking. As you can see, I used a spoon to scoop them into my tray that is lined with silicone. You can line it with parchment as well if you'd like. And I put them about an inch apart or so. Don't overcrowd your pan. Make sure you give them space to spread. And we're gonna cook these for about 9 minutes, not 10, 9. And when you're cooking or you're baking a cookie, if you cook it more than you should, it can burn very quickly. So even if it looks a little bit wet, it doesn't matter. Once you take it out and it cools off, it's going to dry and be perfect. Let's go. All right, everyone, so our cookies are done. I have my first batch and it's ready. I'm gonna make at least 2 more batches with the recipe I gave you. You can make about 3 batches. And here we have 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're gonna have about 33 cookies, 30 more or less. And I waited until they cooled a little bit after I took them out of the oven at 9 minutes exactly. And I transferred them slightly cooled onto my cooling rack so I can finish cooling there. You have to wait a little bit, like about a couple of minutes to transfer them after they come out of the oven. I transferred one that wasn't completely cooled and it broke apart a little bit. So if you don't want that to happen and you have an excuse to say, oh, I need to eat this now. All right, everyone, we have finished with our weekend oatmeal cookies. And trust me when I tell you, these are not just regular oatmeal cookies. These are a step up and beyond. Everybody's gonna love them. Please go to onefamilyonemenu.com for this recipe and many, many more. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. That way we can continue to make delicious recipes together. I will see you again soon. my delicious oatmeal cookies. What are they called?